Hello everyone, this is Zeffy here. I had promised to show you how I make my tin hearts. I've copied these. Someone once sent me brown paper hearts and I just looked how it was made and I made them. And I've made music ones, I've made passion paper ones, and these are made out of foil tape. So I use packaging as my base. I basically just draw a heart, cut it out, and I call that number 1. Okay, and because I like to stick my paper or my foil onto the cardboard side of the box, I stick these two sides together. So I flip this over and I then trace my heart again with the two printed sides facing each other, and then I cut it out. Because my heart is hand drawn, it's not symmetrical, so it's very important that you don't confuse the sides. Okay, once you've got them cut out, I've used a file folder now to carry on. You can see there's 1 and 2s. If I put the hearts on like this, they don't fit, so they have to go on exactly like that with my numbers showing on the outside. You see, so I just work my cardstock a little bit like this, and just to give it make it a little bit concave so it's not completely straight. Then I take my ATG gun and I put some ATG tape all the way around the edges and a tiny bit into the centers. I suppose if you had a Xyron machine you could maybe just pass it through there. And why I put glue on the centers is for the following reason. I like to stuff the hearts with something so they can be puffy. So I just take some scrapbook paper, whatever's in my bin, and I just mush it up like this, and I put a tiny little bit over there. Oopsie. And it's good to have glue there so that these papers don't move. And there's no glue in that center bit there. And there. Okay? And then I'm going to use some wire for my hanger. This one has got string. This other one has wire. And I've already cut it. I just twist this together and then take my little pliers and make a circle, and we might as well just put some glue on this one and put it in. Okay. Okay, and then I join the two together. I have my numbers on the outside of the heart. It's good to put your numbers there because I'll show you in a minute when you cover it. So I just press the two pieces together. I've got the tail and the little V bit, and then just work it, don't be afraid of it, it's just paper. You know, it's just a piece of paper. If you go wrong you just trash it. Although I never trash anything, I always make it work. Okay, that's basically it. What you do now is for the foil, Ranger sells foil. Can you see that? We don't want that. Can you see I've got a sharp edge there? That's a no-no. So just trim it up there. And maybe a little bit here. Okay, so this is all ready to go. As I was saying, Ranger sells foil which is wider, but this is just foil tape that we use for the air conditionings here in Greece. And I like, you can emboss that as it is, but I like to put mine on paper, on cardstock, so then my embossing is a little bit more secure. Just comes off like this. You can see it's sticky, so one could actually just emboss the tape and stick it straight onto your heart. You could really do that, but I feel that if there's a bit of cardstock underneath the tape, your embossing is a lot more secure. Okay, we're using the Maggie Holmes On the Road embossing folder. It's got little shabby chic flowers on it. Okay, and I'm just going to quickly emboss these because I haven't done that. Okay, there's the one. And here's the other one coming up. Okay. So, number one. This is side number one. Side number one has to be a lot wider than side number two. So you just cut out a piece about a centimeter wider than your heart, okay? Can you see how I'm tracing this? I'll hold it up so you can see. It's a lot bigger, okay? And number two, you put two against your paper and you trace the second piece exactly the same shape as your heart. Okay, so the one is like a centimeter bigger and the other is exact. And for number one, I had the number one touching the paper, all right. And we'll cut this out. Okay, I like to use a wet glue, and often I first stick on number one and then I walk away and I let it dry well, and then I come back and stick on the last bit, because I feel, because this is foil, I mean, where does the moisture go? How will the moisture come out of this heart? Because it's all closed. Okay, so that's our first piece. So what we do is we just take some glue, and I'm using Arlene's in this case, putting it all around the edges. And because I live in Athens, I pay a lot of money for a bottle of Arlene's. I use local white glue for the inside. The Scotch bottle is great, so Scotch glue. And so piece number one goes onto side number one, and you just put it down like so. Can you see? And you just work it on. Okay, I have a wet wipe to take off any glue. You can see that that distance now is far too big, so I'll just come in again and trim that. Then I'll move that out the way and I'll just go in there, and then I'll start trimming this up to my cardstock, just like you would if you were trying to sew something and you had sewn it and you wanted to turn it right side around and it was a curve. You would snip your seam. You do exactly the same thing if you were sewing. And I just go all the way around and snip, snip, snip. I've already done this video once. You can see that's why my hands are full of alcohol ink. But it was too long and I was off the camera for half the video. I was working on my lap. And I really need a new camera. If I can have some suggestions, I would really value it, because I'm not happy with the quality of this camera. Okay, I use Arlene's for this bit. I basically just smush it in like this. And I just start folding it over. I don't know why it's not sticking. Okay. You just roll it over and it's messy, but it's therapeutic. Okay. What happens with the cardstock, the file folder cardstock absorbs the glue very fast compared to normal cardstock. Am I on camera? And I've got this stupid light as well. Okay. That's just tidying up that one side, can you see? And then I'll move this wire out the way and do the other side. I'm using a wet wipe to just, as a tool, just to help me. Once it sticks, it eventually does stick down. So don't be despondent. The paper I've got underneath this foil is quite thick as well. What I do with the tip is I just fold it in and over like this, and then trim off that extra bit. I just quickly look and see that I don't have any sharp edges. I just roll them if I do, so that it can be pretty. Okay, and then I trim this. And then that one, can you see that little piece is sticking out? So we'll just trim it there. Okay. So that's side number 1 done. And just take some time to look at it before you proceed to side number 2. So here's number 2. Number 2 will go on just like that. For some unknown reason, it always is bigger when you cut it. Oh no, this one's looking good. Okay, so we just put glue on here and glue it on. I'm actually not going to do that because the video will be too long. So you just take the glue, glue it on, and just work it in well. If pieces are sticking out like that, can you see over there? Then while it's still wet, just peel it back and cut it. Okay, so then you land up with your heart. And then you just take alcohol inks on your felt little top. You can take some green, maybe a bit of green, a little bit of red, bit of red, and a tiny bit of gold. The gold has a little ball in it like nail polish, so you just shake that up, and a tiny bit of mixative. Oh, this is not mixative, this is pearl. I'm going to put some mixative in it too. And then you just dab the color on. You basically just dab color on. Can you see? And then if you want, afterwards, once it's dry, it takes a second to dry, then you can go hit it with the sandpaper, and then the top, the edges that are raised will once again be silver. You'll just sand off the alcohol from them. Or else, if you want, you can even just pour the alcohol on, and then it goes into the ridges a lot easier. You can do that too if you like. So you can even do that, or even just leave it like that and it's more dark. Very difficult to show you on camera. Okay, so thanks for watching. Bye.